WNST.net. We're live here at Super Bowl 53. It is our 26th year. We talk about cases at this point still in the prime of what would have been your career that you dreamed of down in Austin, and you had it taken away from you. We talk about not for long. I mean, you are a case study of somebody trying to live the rest of your life peacefully, right?
Yes, very, very much so, man. And it's one of those things where you got to dig deep. You got to figure out for yourself, and no one else can. What do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And now, man, I am with it's called Peer Sports Recovery, where I go get now. First, I was going to get treatment to try to like solve my problems. Now I'm just going to get like maintenance. You know what I mean? I go sporadically 2 weeks at a time if it's like a month. And I'll just go, you know what I mean, get tuned up where I can go relax, enjoy, and kick some sand around on the beach.
Well, we talk about the jacked up segments, and Luke grew up with that. You grew up with that, being a player. I'm a little older than both of you, but I grew up with Jack Tatum and Darryl Stingley and, Mike Utley and these horrific things, Reggie Brown, these things that have happened that I've witnessed, and now we see Steve Gleason. Luke and I walk past O.J. Bergance's office every day we're in the facility.
Yeah.
And along that curve, there's a guy like you still young enough to be playing, right? I mean, far younger than Tom Brady. It feels like you've been out of the game. But it feels like 5 minutes ago we were in Dallas. You were playing in a Super Bowl, and you had the game taken away. I mean, you are the nightmare scenario for any athlete, for any parent, for any wife of yours, loved one, whatever. But finding this help right away. Run everybody through what happened with you, because, I mean, not everybody's familiar with Tayshaun Gibson and where you were. But you had a spinal issue as well as multiple concussions, right?
Yeah, I had a C3, C4 vertebrae, and I had a bruise. I had a bruise on my on a contusion on my spinal, like a spinal cord. So I had to go get I went through a long road. I had to go get a titanium piece in my neck.
Oh.
Where they had to put it off in there where it won't ever break. And after that, man, I went into a stage where I was depressed. I went into a dark place where I had very, very impulsive thoughts, anxiety.
And you knew you were never going to play football again at this point, right?
Yeah, at this point I did. That triggered
That's
me.
a day now. That's a hell of a day, whether you're retiring healthy.
Yes.
They can't get Brady to stop playing. And he's got $200 million,
right, in
he's
cash.
addicted. He can't stop playing.
Yes,
right?
it's addictive sport. Football is like a drug. Any sport that you do since 5 years old, you make it to the professional realm of it, it gets addicting. Because then they frisbee a check in your locker, and then you plan at your highest that you ever played.
Then they give you a Super Bowl ring, right? Then you get a Super Bowl ring.
You get a Super Bowl ring, and guess what? You know what I mean?
How old were you when you won? 24?
Yes. Young.
Wow.
and they beat the Steelers.
Oh, man, that was even
better. That must be your team.
No, we're here in Baltimore.
Okay.
We don't like
you
those
love
guys,
that then.
So we were all Packers fans.
So I'll tell you, you were in Dallas when the ice came, right? We were going to have bad weather here this week.
Yep.
And the day that the ice storm came was the day that Mike Tomlin, who's a friend of mine, met McCarthy on a stage. And there was no one at the press conference on that Friday because nobody could get to Dallas because it was iced over, right? So there's 10 people in there, literally, in this press conference at 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And I went up to Tomlin and I said, "Good luck, Coach." And he said to me, "You don't mean that." And I'm like, "Nah, I just lied to you." He knows I don't wish him any good luck at all.
Oh, that's funny.
But so you win a Super Bowl and you're out of the game. What, 3 years later? 2 years later? How long was it for you? 4.
Four. There you go. 4.
So how long have you've been out 4 years now as a player?
Yes.
Wow, and the titanium plate happened afterward?
It happened when I had the surgery. I had surgery after my injury 2 weeks later.
And that was only 3 years ago now.
Yeah, so they put the titanium piece in. They opened my narrow canal because this had closed in on me also. Mm-hmm. And after that issue, I got depressed more than anybody I know. And now I'm trying to teach mental health to my buddies, my peers, the guys that still in the league, active players, to not be ashamed. Like, stop the silence. Stop the silence are raising your hand saying I'm sick. Or saying, look, don't be ashamed. Just don't be ashamed to like go and say, look, I need help. Like, please help me, because guess what? It's gonna help your performance, because you're gonna think better. It's gonna help your family if you got family issues. It's gonna help your wife or kids get adapted to the real person. And that's what I didn't experience during the course of the NFL. I had people pissed off at me because, one, I was selfish. 2, I just wasn't a good family man. And 3, I just wasn't myself. You know what I mean? I was angry all the time, probably because of the hits, or it could be when I was a child. I was just one of those guys that just couldn't wrap my mind around, like, why the hell do I feel like this? You know what I mean?
Well, then it ends.
And then it ends. Guess what? Now I'm really pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. So tell me about the recovery for you in the last 3 years. Where did you discover this, and what is it? Well, what's the first step for you that turned you around?
Yeah, the first step was getting on the phone. Calling the place, Pure Sports Recovery, and just asking them, what do you do to help, whatever. And they was pulling my leg, and I was like, I can't come. I don't want to come. I hate staying at other places. I want to be at my house. You know what I mean? So Deborah Whitney, she's a CEO. She got me there, and I stayed 7 days, and I was like, I'm going back home.
The home's Texas for you, right?
Yeah. Man, I'm like, I'm going back home, guys. I'm sorry. I can't stay here anymore. So I went back home, felt the same symptoms that I went through, went back 30 days. And when I left that 30 days, it was like, woof. I opened up. It was like I was back at Lambeau Field. I can see again. It was like lights. Then went back home. I felt awesome. Then felt myself going back down and went 60 days again. And after that 60, it was
yeah, we've met you in the past. You seem like you're in a good place right now.
I'm in an awesome place. I feel good. Very content in my life.
You still watching football? Can you enjoy football at this point?
Yeah, I don't care. I just can't enjoy seeing my boys get hurt. I just want to see the high impact game. Like, it's vicious. And my thing is that the NFL talks about head trauma and leading with your head. But guess what? Guess what they show when they show highlights? Knockouts, big hits. But you preaching on not leading with the head. Football is a high impact sport. You got to hit with your helmet. That's why you gave me a face mask.
Well, one of the hardest parts now is what is a penalty and what isn't, right? And trying to figure that out.
It's the stupidest thing ever. I think they need to let it go and just let's play football. Let's quit scooting the field goal back 10 yards to the right, to the left. Like, this is not rocket science here. This is a game of football, and it's a gladiator sport. That's being real.
Jermichael Finley here, Luke Jones here. We're on Radio Row. We're in Atlanta at the Georgia World Congress. All brought to you by our friends at Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast, as well as our friends at Costas. Want to give them a shout-out for the crabs and the crab cakes. Get in there with the pit beef as well. For you with Pure Sports Recovery, tell me what happened for you during these 30 and 60-day stays that have helped you.
What happened to me, 44% of my brain was dysfunctional. Now I'm up to 72, where it's back over. I'm clicking like a normal person, and man, it's been like.
Is it therapy involved in this?
It's therapy. I talk to a counselor probably 4 hours out the day. I'm talking about intense, and I do that. Just dig up all that childhood, whatever you've been through. You dig it out, and that's the first part. And then I go do, it's called neurofeedback, where they hook up all these things on your head. With mine, I always lowered my head to the left, and so all my bleeding was right here. So we hook up all the tensils up, and it puts all them things back in your brain that helps you think. The impulsiveness helped all of that stuff. And after that, man, you probably crash about 2 hours. Just imagine sucking all the stuff out your brain and putting it back in. I crashed for a good minute, but you wake up with natural energy. No Adderall, no coffee, no nothing. It's all natural.
No caffeine, nothing like that for you? They stopped all of that for you?
Not for myself, I did. Just because of it, that it can't help me if I'm, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to be natural. So now it's all
well, you natural. Look good. You working out? You feeling good?
Yeah, I eat the weights.
Hey, man, it's good seeing you, man.
You too, man.
Jermichael Finley here, former Green Bay Packer for PureSportsRecovery.com. Feeling good, looking good here, and you look like you'd still play, man.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't look to tackle you. I'm going to tell you right now. There he goes. Luke and I are down on Radio Row. We're here for all things Super Bowl coverage. It's Super Bowl 53. Tom Brady's back in the game. We are here. You can find us out in the buy at Toyota.com Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. I am Nestor. He's Luke. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.